Hey guys, it's Tess, and I'm excited to bring you our training for the month, which is all about Instagram stories. And we're going to be talking about why you should be doing stories, what are Instagram stories, all sorts of fun information. It's a great way to interact with your Instagram audience, create content, and just kind of get out there to more people. So if you don't already have this, you can print out this little handout. It's only 3 pages, and it's basically everything that we're going to talk about today. And so you should see this with this video, depending on how you receive this video. But most likely, if you're in the inner circle, you got this in an email, and you should be able to click this link and view this PDF. So hopefully you have this, and if not, no worries. We're gonna take things slow, and you can make notes and let me know, and I can always email this to you later. But before we get started into what's on that PDF, I'm just gonna open up, make sure you have your phone on you, and I'm gonna open up my Instagram. And so if you're on Instagram and you're just at really this home button right here, it's a little house. So you're gonna click that little home button. These circles along the top, this is what the Instagram stories are. Okay, so this is stories of your followers, and your story will always show up first. Oops. Your story will always show up first, and then it'll be like, basically it's kind of like your newsfeed where Instagram shows you who you like the most. So if you are always looking at someone's story, they know that they'll put that story first. They organize it based on who you like the most, whose pictures you like the most, what stories you watch the most, and then they go down. So it's like Kylie Jenner is like one of the ones. I always watch her story. Then I have like my cousin, and then I have it goes down from there, just like my friends, and a lot of you guys actually are featured right up here. So this is what we're going to be concentrating on. If you don't see any circles at the top right here, that means you need to follow more people. You need to get more people on your Instagram, more accounts that you're following, so you can check out what they're posting on their story. Alrighty, so let's get started. This is all about this section here. This is your feed. We're not going to be spending as much time in this section of Instagram today, but we will be answering questions all month long in the inner circle about the feed, and I will talk to you about how you can get your stories from the stories to your feed, because that's one strategy that I like to do on Instagram. All right, so today's topic, Instagram stories and your strategy. All right, so a story is either a 15-second photo either a photo or a 15-second video, and they're only up for 24 hours. And so if you go ahead and you click on one of these circles, and I'm just gonna hold down so I can pause this story, I can see that it's been up for 3 hours. That means that this is only gonna be up for 21 more hours, and then it falls off. And you can click to the right and you'll go to her next story. Or if you're like, wait, what was that? You can click to the other side, to the left, and you can go back. All right, and so again, 21 hours, so this will go away in 3 hours. And you can that just is kind of like an indicator how long it's been there. It only stays up for 24 hours. All right, they're fun and they're interactive. People are like, oh, cool, or wow, I love that. Or that's a lot of the times the comments I get, like if I'm posting my daughter or if I'm posting little things, people will just kind of say small little things. But guess what? That starts conversations with more people, which is our ultimate goal, right? So running a business, you need to have as many conversations as possible, because conversations equals money. Let's go back to the basics here, right? So it's like, why do the stories? To create more conversations around what you're up to, your activities, and conversations lead to relationships, and relationships usually end up leading to sales or referrals. You want to mix it up. You want to do lighthearted, fun, like random, spunky stuff, but then you also want to do promotional content. So finding that balance and that rhythm definitely takes time. And so it's all through trial and error. And guess what? It's only up for 24 hours. So you can always do it and then take it down, or leave it up and it goes away after 24 hours, and you can try again and try again and try again. So Instagram helps your reach, grow your reach. So we're going to talk about strategy a little bit. Decide how many times a day you're going to post. For me, I try to have a goal of having 3 things on my story all the time. And so let's say I have 3 things in one day, yay. I have actually nothing on my story right at this second. And so I got to get 3 things up there. And I'm going to show you some tricks on how to make it super easy that you don't even have to come up with any content. You can actually just share other people's content so that you have your 3. Okay. And so how do your followers respond to 5 posts a day, 10 posts a day? Yeah, the more the better. So the better you get at this, you'll see more results. And then post a mix. Okay, we already talked about this, having both fun and about your business. And then you have to be consistent. You just like social media, you can't just do it, once or twice and then think you're good. You have to keep showing up, and then that's how you get closer and closer to the top of somebody's newsfeed. The more consistent you are, again, Instagram will love you back. All right, so if you kind of plan out, that's always good. Variety of content. So you could always say, okay, I'm always going to put my hashtag holidays or my new post on my feed. And if you don't know what I'm talking about when I'm saying this, don't worry. We're going to go back to basics all month long. But we're going to start kind of creating more of a strategy behind what we post on the stories. Oh, I love this feature. It gives you the ability to add GIFs, stickers, music ahead of time, which is helpful when you're posting a lot of things. So let's go in. So, okay, your highlights. I just want to make a comment about your Instagram highlights. So this is your Instagram story. If you go to your profile on the other side, so it's this tiny picture of you right here on Instagram, you're looking at your profile. And these right here that always stay on your profile are called your highlights. So these you can always kind of be changing up. You'll notice other people's highlights more and more, and you can see what other people post right here. And this is content that never goes away. So, but in order to get content on your highlights, it first has to go to your story. Okay, and so it's a little bit confusing, so that's why we're doing a whole training on it, and we'll help you through this month. And so you want to kind of start thinking about what are going to be your main topics. And so maybe you'll have like reviews as one of your highlights, your story, ways people can contact you, your favorite products or services, different things like that. Just going to go back to my profile. So right here is very strategic place to put your stories if you don't want them to go away after 24 hours. If you're like, oh, but I love this picture, put a highlight together of just that theme of picture. Let's say it's like you and your spouse or you and your family or whatever, and people can always see the pictures of you and your family. So this will make more sense. But of course, your products and services, once you have this set up, it's really easy to add highlights to your stories. So we'll be talking about that. Okay, so before I go to the next thing, let's kind of get started and let's figure this out. So I hope you have your phone on you. And what we're going to do is, if you're on your profile, there's a tiny little plus button right here. So you can click there. Now, if you've never posted to your story before, you're going to have to enable your camera, enable your audio, enable your photo section. You're going to have to hit enable on all of those things and go to your settings to allow your settings to access this. Hi, selfie time. Okay, so you're on your story. And what you can do is really fun. So there's all these different options down here. And one thing that I always try to try to encourage is that you try them all, really. So here, this is pictures in your, let me go back so in case you didn't see. This first box here is pictures from your camera roll. So these are actually pictures from my camera roll that I've taken. A lot of them I've posted already or not. And so let's say you have a picture of a product or a service or just something you want to put on your story, you can pick the picture from your camera roll, okay? And then it automatically puts the date. Let's say you don't want people to know that this was taken on August 27th, you know, a couple days ago. You want people to think it was taken today. You can just take this and put it right down in that trash can. And it goes away. Okay, and then you can swipe to get different filters. You just swipe. And then there's probably like 8 to 10 filters. Let's say you're like, okay, I want this one. Part of branding is always using that same filter. So this one is called, I know someone who always uses Cairo. I know someone who always uses Paris. I always use, let's see, what's it called? I always use Rio de Janeiro. Not for any reason other than I like, it looks like an Instagram filter kind of, so I just always use, and it's just the easiest one. It's just one swipe to the left, and so it's just super easy to use. You can pinch this, make it smaller, make it bigger, whatever you want, okay? So these are super fun. Then you have these at the top. These is where it gets real interesting. The first one with the arrow pointing down, that's going to save it to your phone. The second one is a smiley face with two little like stars on the head. Click there. It's just kind of fun. It gives you some filters. Okay, so again, I want you to explore. So I could just make her into a cat, or I made her, you can put different things on after the fact. So you can add like little hearts and stuff like that to her face. I can put sunglasses on her. Okay, so that's what the smiley face with the little 2 little stars does. Then you have the link. Probably only if you're a business account, you'll see this little link. I don't know that personal accounts see it, but you could. This, honestly, I haven't seen it work yet for me. It's something that's relatively new, but this is if you want to link it to, you can play around with this, really, this feature, but I'm not going to get into it because it's a little bit more intermediate than tonight. We're kind of just doing basics. The next thing is this sticky note with this smiley face, okay? And so click that sticky note with the smiley face. This is gonna give you a whole lot of options. Location, that's to geotag. So you can, I always tag Pleasanton, or if you're in Danville, or whatever city you're in. If you're at a restaurant, tag that restaurant. Whatever, if you're, let's say, you want to tag that you were in Danville, even though you're not currently in Danville. You're in Pleasanton, but maybe you took the picture in Danville, or it's like a TBT or whatever. You want to do a different location. You just search that location. You don't, if it doesn't show up here, that doesn't mean it's not an option. So you just search whatever location you're in, Myrtle Beach or, you know, Michigan or whatever. If you want to reach people in Michigan or whatever, you can use that strategically. So we'll just put Pleasanton, California. And again, check it out. You can tap, and it gives you like a couple different options. And then you can move, and you can pinch and make it smaller. So depending on the aesthetics of your style that you want in your brand. Okay. And then let's say you're like, actually, I don't want it to say Pleasanton, California. You just move it to the trash can. Drag and drop it into the trash. It's not letting me put it in the trash. I'm not sure why it's not letting me put it in the trash, but you just drag it to the trash if you don't want it. Then what you can do is, no, it's not letting me get rid of it. go back to the sticky note again, so the sticky note with the smiley face, and you can mention. And this is where you mention Omni social media, where you start typing in another account. So maybe you want to mention Kylie Jenner, or maybe you just start typing it in, or maybe you want to start mentioning the Pleasanton Chamber of Commerce, or your local Chamber of Commerce, or Polka Dot Powerhouse, or whatever it is. You just start typing it in there, Polka Dot, or a brand that you're repping. You're like, thanks to, Arbonne or Stella and Dot, or, Rodan and Fields, whatever you want, and you can actually tag them. So @ or Polka Dot Powerhouse, and then a bunch of options come up here on the bottom, and you just pick which one you want, and then you're able to tag them. And again, you can tap to change and then move and do that however you want. You can also hit the sticky note again. The sticky note, this is like the fun center. Okay, there's so many options of what you can do right here. I'm just going to show you one more, but really you should go through, and I can't wait to see what you come up with now that you know that this exists. And basically, the more you click around with all these options, you're going to go, oh, that's how they did that. Oh, that's how they did that. Most likely, if you're wondering, how did someone do that on their story? It lives within right here. Okay, so there's lots of different things that you can do. And I'm just going to show you one more real quick, because this is like my favorite thing. But this GIF right here, GIF, and it's kind of moving like that. You click there, and maybe in the search bar, you type in boss, and then like a ton of fun little things come up. So I just grabbed that doggy right there. Again, you can make the doggy bigger and smaller or whatever. So it's like you can do whatever you want to your pictures. Okay, like how cute is that? So then you're like, all right, I'm ready to post this. All you do is just hit your stories. Or, I don't know why they give you two options to do the same thing. You can do send to. And this, you just do send to your story. Or if you want, you can send to specific people only privately. But most of the time, you're going to hit send to your story. Or if you want, you just do this right here and hit your story. So now I'm putting this on my story. And notice that there is a purple or a rainbow ring around my profile picture that was not there when we started. If you see a ring around the profile picture, that means there's new content there that you haven't seen yet from a profile. And so Instagram is telling me, hey Tess, there's new content that you haven't seen yet on your Instagram. So then I can go like this to check it out. And there it is. And it says posted 31 seconds ago. I can hold down to pause it, okay? Or maybe you want to add another story. So to do that, see the blue, we'll give that just a second. See the blue plus sign in the middle, or in the profile picture? There's a blue plus sign. You just click right there. And now I'm ready to add another one. Okay, and so maybe this time, instead of a picture of my daughter from my camera roll, I want to take a selfie. Okay, so now I have another picture, and I'm just going to show you a couple more features, and then I can't wait to see what you post. So you have your picture, you have your selfie. Remember, I always kind of do that, just one swipe to the left. That's just what I do. You can do 3 swipes to the left and do all these different filters, but I just kind of keep it simple and do this. Then you can do your location and all this fun stuff. Don't forget about that. And then I'm just going to show you these two things. One, right here, the pen. Okay, and then there's 4 options for the pen. On the side, you can make the pen thicker and thinner and be like, give yourself a crown or give yourself whatever. You can change the colors of your pen. Okay, let's say you're like, ooh, that does not look good. There's a little undo button just right at the top. You can hit it. Undo, undo, undo. You can change your pen. make it thinner, and now I'm just gonna put a star, undo. So if you want to draw on your pictures, if you're an artist or a creative, you can play with all these fun things. Secret tip, if you're looking for more colors, you just swipe and it gives you more colors. If you're looking for every single color under the rainbow, hold this down and you can get more colors. So let's just go back to that front, to the first one, hold it down, and now I can do whatever color I want. Okay. Another way, let's say I want to match my chair, or let's say I want to match the color in my shirt. There's a little dropper on the side right here, this little dropper. You can click there and you can match any color in the picture. So be like, I want to match the color of my eyes. Put this dropper right on your eyes. That might be a little bit hard. It's the color of my hair. And then I can type the same color as my hair. It's kind of fun. Anyway, that might be more intermediate. And then you hit done at the top. Now, see the little A's, the two A's, the big A and the little A, click there. And this is where you can type something. You can type, hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. And again, you can move this down, make it bigger, smaller, and all that fun stuff. So let's say I put that to the trash can, and then you just add to your story. So let's go back and let's see how my picture went. I actually have to delete it because it's kind of like an embarrassing picture that I just used for this training purposes. But if you click on your profile picture, you're able to see it. I'm going to hold down because I want to show you some things right here. If you go, part of the reason is, why am I doing this test? Why should I be doing my Instagram stories? And one thing for me is I noticed that when I do more stories, more people look at my profile. And I'm going to show you that in just a second, what I mean by that. But another thing is, you can see who sees your story. And I typically have about 200 people a day that look at my stories, each story. I have about 200 people that are loyal followers, and that number is ever increasing. So it'll be interesting because it used to be 100, and then over the last 6 months it was 110, 120, 130, and as I got more consistent, now I have 200 people that look, and that number will continue to go up the more consistent I am picking up 1 or 2 people here or there. So it's a great way to grow your audience consistently. Okay, and one thing that you can look at, this is something I kind of track right up here. If you have a business profile, if you have a personal profile, this won't apply to you. But if you have a business profile, one thing I look at is how many profile views. 53 profile visits in the last 7 days. That's actually pretty low for me. I like to see that number closer to 100. Usually I get 100 profile visits within a 7-day period. So this 53 is pretty low. So that means I have to do more stories because I want to see that go up. So that's something that I track and I look at, and I can see my business that correlates to how my business is doing. Okay. Another thing is you can see exactly who saw this image by going to, I'm going to hold up for 1 second, seen by 4 people. So it's a little eye up, seen by 7. Okay, so I got to get this down quick because more and more people are seeing it. But see how there's this little eye right here, and maybe nobody's seen yours yet because you don't have that many followers. And so California story, so one person in California that I have no idea who they are, they saw this picture, right? So that might be a new follower. That might lead someone to go to my profile and be like, who is this girl? What is she all about? She's funny and posting that picture, right? And they get you and they relate to you, and then they want to follow you and have relationships with you. Okay, and so this will continue to update, but this shows you exactly the accounts that have seen your story, have seen your pictures that you post. And so California story, my sister, and then a couple of my friends and my brother-in-law. And then one business that I don't even know, Cellular Skin RX. I don't even know who they are, but they looked at my story. Okay? And so this is your story. So there's no purple ring around my picture anymore because I've already seen all the content there is to see. And so if you go through your feed, like this girl right here, she has a little purple ring around it. That means she has new content in her story that I could click through if I wanted, but I don't want to. If you go to the next person, they do not have any new content. See, there's no ring around their profile picture, etc., etc. So you can kind of go through, and that's an indicator, oh, there's new content there. I'm going to check out what that person is saying. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions. I can't wait to see what you post. We're going to be dealing with this all month long in the inner circle. So ask me your questions on Monday morning check-in calls. We're going to be forcing you to post to your story this month and diving more and more into strategy and the highlights and just helping you grow your knowledge of Instagram in general, your bio and all of the fun things like that, and also your settings. So stay tuned for more to come as far as your Instagram story. And I hope that this training was helpful, and it's just the beginning to kick off the month of September as we explore more and more and more about what you can do. All right, you guys, I will see you on Mondays at 10 a.m. in the Inner Circle. Please feel free to reach out to me before then or individually with any questions that you have. I'm here to help and guide you, and I hope this training was helpful.